Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Come on, you stupid thing. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. What's up? Hopefully you just watched my incredible 2015 Foshing Festival video that I did earlier today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But right now, you're tuning in for your daily focus, which is, of course, the Monday Night Raw review. Yes. Now, Monday Night Raw was pretty damn awesome last night. I thought it was pretty good, at least. I felt it furthered a lot of storylines. It wasn't awesome. Awesome is the wrong word. It was Joe Cronin had 100% right. What he said was it was on cruise control, because I think the storylines that they have are actually going in really good directions, and last night just seemed to further those storylines. So that was pretty cool, and it was a lot of fun. Before we get started, make sure that you're checking out Joe Cronin on the Joe Cronin Show, joecroninshow.com. Spectrum Gaming 617 is shut down right now, but it might come back up, we're hearing. Joe Cronin Show Network on YouTube, that is where we're going live. It's subscription. You can pay for some of the content because his Maria interview and all that is up there. So make sure you check that out. Also, check out my boy Tommy C over on Shot From The Point. YouTube.com/Shot From The Point. It's hockey. It's real talk. It's a lot of fun. We do a weekly show. I do it with him Monday through Thursday in the crease with Tommy C. We talk hockey, and it's not your granddad's hockey show. Also, every single Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Shot From The Point Live, the Mothership Show, if you need all your hockey fix stuff. Speaking of Tommy C, he's got a new project, and here it is. That's right. Shot From The Point Radio. Shot From The Point Radio. Tommy C is going to be talking all kinds of cool stuff and doing some music, real music, not just regular YouTube type music, but some real music, some classic rock, some hip hop. His music taste is very eclectic, so you guys should like that. Make sure you're checking that out. And I'm sure I'll be showing up from time to time there to talk some shit with my boy. So, all right, Monday Night Raw. We got all that stuff out of the way. Oh, and by the way, if you need your Dead on Dave merchandise fix, go to deadondave.spreadshirt.com and get your copious shirt and your copious mug and all those cool things. Support the channel. And, of course, if you want to have your memes, if you're creating wrestling memes and you want them shown right here in this little box next to me, go ahead and send it to me on Facebook, facebook.com// This Guy's Take on It. That is my actual site for Dead on Dave Productions. Do not Facebook me personally, because I probably will not accept it, because that is, my friends and family and all of that. And I put some personnel stuff on there. So I probably won't accept it, except for very, very, very special cases. My Twitter, @DeadOnDaveV. You can tweet me all of your memes there. Also, Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura. You can send it to me right there. And if I like it, they're cool, I will go ahead and put them in this little box, and you'll get to see them. They'll be there, so that'll be really awesome if you want to get involved that way. And if you do friend me on Skype, you hook me up on Skype there, and I add you, there's a very good chance that you could be on the show, because I like to do these little shows called 5 Random Questions, where I call up somebody on Skype that's on, doesn't matter who it is, and I talk to them and give them 5 random questions, and we answer them, and we all have a lot of fun. We learn things about each other, and we grow. Okay. All right, so now all of that is out of the way, so let's get to the Raw review. I enjoyed Raw. I was fairly entertained. I mean, it's going the right way towards Fastlane, which everybody's assuming is a throwaway pay-per-view. I'm not so sure that it is now. I think that's going to be a pretty damn entertaining pay-per-view that should set up some really awesome storylines for WrestleMania. So, the show opens up with John Cena. Cena's talking about getting his ass kicked last week, which was fine. But he swears he's going to beat him at Fastlane. You're going to see a John Cena that you only see on rare occasions And that's fine. It's the same Cena stuff all the time. I mean, we hear these things that he says it all the time. That's totally cool, you know. And you know, it's cool that he also finally brought up winning the U.S. title. Because I think he is going to win this match to set up a bigger match at WrestleMania. Because you can't see him losing at Fastlane and then again at WrestleMania. That seems like too much of a burial for John Cena. But seeing him win at Fastlane should qualm all fears that he is going to go over Rusev at WrestleMania, just like he did against Bray Wyatt last year, which was retarded. Him beating Wyatt last year made no sense at WrestleMania. I think it really hurt Wyatt for the rest of the year, so I don't see them doing that again. Rusev should go over, and I still think that he is going to put Cena on the shelf after the match. I could see it being some kind of gimmick. A steel cage match seems very logical to me. Some people think that this can still turn into a USA versus Russia thing. I don't think it is. I think it's evolved beyond that. I think Rusev has evolved beyond that. It's really now just becoming a destroying John Cena thing, which is cool. I'd much rather see that because we've done the America thing. We don't need it anymore. There's really no point in it. So I like where they're going with that. Rusev comes out, interrupts him, and they talk some shit. Cena gets irritated and goes up the ramp, and he destroys Rusev, which I thought was really cool. We saw a very aggressive John Cena, which we don't always get to see. He really did put the fists to Rusev, and it was pretty cool. A lot of fun, I thought. It was a very, very, very fun little segment. He really did beat the crap out of him, and that was cool. So I enjoyed how the night started. It wasn't the same Cena that we always see. Well, it was at first, and then we got to see a more aggressive Cena. So, you know, that's cool. And they got Cena out of the way. He was done. So that's also very cool. Once again, keeping in mind that this is the second consecutive WrestleMania that Cena is taking a mid-card role. So kind of cool. Kind of cool. So after that, Dean Ambrose gets on the old microphone in the back in a backstage vignette where he's at a news anchor desk, you know, kind of making fun of the BNZ stuff. And he's saying that Bad News Barrett will have no choice but to sign this contract. He had a contract in his hand. This one's not invisible. I'm not holding an invisible one. You might think I am, but I'm not. I'm simply pantomime. What? I'm being comical. What? Did you just call me retarded?
No.
Did you just call me retarded?
I love you.
I think you just called me retarded. My wife of 12 years just called me retarded. But that means she's a retard lover. She loves me, the big retard. That's okay. Love you. You're trapped forever. Trapped forever. She trapped me. Vagina traps. Babies. Anyway, so Dean Ambrose goes ahead and he's going to get him to sign this thing. Well, he has a match with Luke Harper. And I have to say, this was not a good match. I was very disappointed in this. They did give it some time. They got, 9 minutes or so? How long did they get? I have it all written down. 11 minutes. 11 minutes and 7 seconds. Seconds. I was expecting a lot out of this match because it's two guys that can go. And they just didn't for whatever reason. I don't really know why. It was just very strange. Harper has really gone down the tubes. He looked like he was going to be built as this big guy. You know, he had the Intercontinental title run, and then it just all went away. And you would think, okay, well, they did it to drop it back to Ziggler, and then he drops it to Bad News Barrett. I mean, it was just very, very weird, and they could have went a different way with Harper. Perhaps they just don't feel like he's paid his dues to get the push that he's going to get in the future. I think, but he's another guy that certainly could be considered a core person for the future. I don't think that Luke Harper, with his ability, is going anywhere as far as down too much farther on the card. We'll see what happens with him. It's a very interesting thing. But the match, the thing is, I know that these two could have a really good fight because they have good chemistry. But for some reason, just last night did not really translate well, and I really don't know why. So it is what it is. Dean Ambrose gets the victory. The end was great. The finish was really, really good. I thought it finished really strong. Ambrose got the win via Dirty Deeds. So after that, we find out that Kane and Big Show will be taking on Reigns and Bryan in singles matches. Kane versus Reigns and Big Show versus Bryan. The full split has not happened yet between Big Show and Kane, which is kind of cool because I think that's still going to be saved for WrestleMania. So it's kind of neat. Show tried to bring up the May 19th thing, if you notice, but he said May 13th, which wasn't the right one. I don't know. It was very weird. Like, Big Show tried to do something interesting, but it didn't work. I don't know. It's just very weird backstage little thing. But Hunter both of them shut the hell up and know your role and shut your mouth, jabronis, and do your matches. So then we get Bray Wyatt in the first of like 3 promos tonight, and he's holding a coffin nail, an old-fashioned coffin nail. A really nice little touch. I enjoyed that. And he's still obviously talking to The Undertaker and, saying how he's not scared. It was very cryptic, and it was just very cool, and I like what they're doing. The coffin nail was a nice touch. So after that, we get Gold and Stardust backstage talking, and in walks Daddy Dusty Rhodes, baby. See, my boys, they be fighting like squirrels in a garbage can, baby. And we got to come together, and we got to shake it, baby. And funk it like a monkey. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. What? Okay. You don't know Dusty Rhodes. That's a pretty good Dusty Rhodes. You don't know the American Dream, baby. We get funky like a monkey. It's so hard not to beat my wife. I just want to punch her. What?
You don't say that on camera.
Why?
You don't say stuff like that.
Why?
You might get arrested.
I might. I did not say that I'm going to hit you. I did not say that I do hit you. I said it's really hard to fight the urge to hit you because you say things that are hit-worthy.
I don't.
She's a horrible person. She's so mean to me. She's so mean. You see how mean she is to me. She interrupts my show. She talks shit to me. No, but they could hear. They could hear your German ass. Now you're whispering. Now she's whispering. Stop interrupting me. I love you. Anyway. So, backstage, it was just a big family speech, and it seemed like Stardust was responding to it. But we all know that this was bullcrap, and it was. So they go out to have a match with the New Day. Let's talk about how not over the New Day is right now. Oh, my God. People cannot stand the New Day. It's amazing how much the fans hate the New Day. They're terrible. They're just terrible. Like, Big E's out there because it was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods who was taking on Gold Stardust. And fucking Big E's out there hitting the damn apron trying to get people in there. He was going... And the crowd was saying, New Day sucks. New Day sucks. It was great. New Day was terrible. Just nobody cares. But now it seems like they're just starting to just... And that's even worse than booing them. There's just no reaction at all. There's a little bit of reaction about saying they suck, and then the fans just stop caring completely. Stardust does finally snap, and he hits Crossroads on his brother, after the New Day won the match, And nobody cared that New Day won. Stardust hits Crossroads, which he hasn't hit in a while. He does use every now and then, but he hasn't used it in a while. And he hit it on him. And then, Dusty tries to trying to talk some sense into him in the back. This happened a little bit later. And Stardust tells him, Cody is dead. Don't you understand this? And he was given all these really emotional and really good reasons as to why Cody's life was such a mess. And there's no, it shouldn't be a surprise that Stardust came into being. I mean, look at the type of mess and embarrassment that Dustin is, and the sideshow freak that Dusty is, and all of this stuff. It was very cool and very well done, and I think they're showing added depth to Cody Rhodes and Stardust. I don't know exactly where this is going. I know I've booked it the way that I thought I'd like to see it, but who am I? I'm just a big fat guy. But I thought it was really neat and very, very well done. So it was a lot of fun. And one of the most interesting parts of the night for me, Roman Reigns was backstage with Byron Saxton. And Reigns cut a very good promo talking about, if I was eliminated for the Rumble, I would have taken it like a man. Basically, saying that Bryan's acting like a little bitch, which is kind of cool because he's saying things that a lot of the IWC is saying from Roman Reigns' perspective, just like Bryan fans are saying things from their perspective about Roman Reigns, about how he sucks and all this stuff. So it's very cool to see that translate to screen. And here's what I took away from that. Not only did Roman Reigns do a really good job in this promo because he didn't try to be something that he wasn't, he just talked, but Byron Saxton is absolutely phenomenal as a backstage interviewer. Phenomenal. Not good. He's great. He's great. He is the best interviewer in the backstage. The questions he asked, everything was fantastic. It seemed real. The best I've seen since Mean Gene Okerlund, and I mean that sincerely. Now, the problem is he is terrible at announcing. He is a horrible announcer on SmackDown. Absolutely, one of the worst in the game. They need to use guys where their strengths are, and Byron Saxton needs to be what Todd Pettingill was, even what Michael Cole was for a very long time. That's where they cut their teeth. I'm sorry, I got shit in my eye. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. But that's where they cut their teeth. They cut their teeth as backstage announcers, and they learn their craft that way. And look, the reality is he's very good at it. So why not use him in that way? I'd like to see more segments where in-ring stuff after a match, like Byron comes in and rolls in and talks to people right after matches or catches them on the ramp on the way up. That's something missing from wrestling. That was a lot of fun. Your weekly spot on Monday Nitro where Mean Gene would interview Ric Flair. I mean, that was fun. It was ways to use talents for 3 or 4 minutes without having physicality. And on a 3-hour show, I think that would be a really good way to translate things and get people on camera and do some cool stuff and set up events, because remember, that's something that they would do too. Like if they needed a reason for a match, Disco Inferno would come out and do a quick interview, and then Diamond Dallas Page would interrupt him and they would talk, and then they have a match later. That was cool. It was cool matchmaking. And if they do a GM again, you can have two guys have an argument and the GM comes out and yells at them. It would be fun and something that I really feel is missing from the product. I think Byron Saxton can be that guy. So that was cool. So we see at this point, that's when we see the Cody Rhodes telling his father that not only is Cody Rhodes dead, but Dusty is dead to him. And that was kind of cool. So next we get Roman Reigns and Kane, which got about 8 minutes. Daniel Bryan comes out before the match and is getting the crowd into a frenzy with a yes chants and everything. I thought that was a cool touch. This one-upsmanship between Kane and Bryan. I thought Bryan was very good on the interview or as an announcer, the guest on the announce table. He said a lot of really cool things. They have to really stop having Reigns take on guys with Kane and Big Show. It's just not working to get Reigns over as a top guy. Kane and Big Show I don't know why WWE thinks that beating these slow, old, gigantic guys is going to help Roman Reigns get over. That's not what people want to see. And, I mean, maybe kids are still digging it, and it seems like they are. And obviously that's where they're gearing this towards. But we would much rather see him have good 15, 20-minute matches with the likes of Seth Rollins or Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler or Bad News Barrett if you want to go face versus heel. Or have Reigns kind of complete the heel turn. So there was just it's just an interesting plan that I don't really understand why they're going that route. But, it is what it is. And that's what they're trying to do. That's the decision that they decide to try to make work. So we have to stick with it and see what's going to happen. But Bryan's work on commentary was really enjoyable and a lot of fun. The match was not great, and it was a dumb finish to it with Roman Reigns spearing Kane on the outside and getting the win versus countout. I understand why neither of their matches ended by pinfall or submission. For one, it's foreshadowing for what's probably going to happen at the pay-per-view. But it's also a way of showing that this is how they can win and go on to WrestleMania, which I thought that was kind of neat. But I do believe that Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan is going to be a no decision. I think part of me thinks that because I think freaking Brock Lesnar is going to come out and destroy them both. I think they're going to get a good match out of Reigns and Bryan. I think they can go 20, 25 minutes, and then Lesnar is going to come out and just destroy both of them, eat their fucking hearts in the middle of the ring, which would be great. So I think that's probably what's going to happen, and we might get Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania. That's where part of my brain is. The other part of my brain is completely on this. This is all smoke and mirrors. The mutual respect, the tilting of these guys one-upping each other, the evolution of their relationship over the last few weeks, it's all smoke and mirrors to simply get Reigns over and prepared for WrestleMania. If it works, it's a brilliant idea. I'm just not sure it's going to work. So, Daniel Bryan gets interviewed with Renee. Really nothing happened there. So, he was saying, hey, you better get used to hearing those chants because you're going to have to deal with them at Fastlane. So that was kind of cool. That was his reasoning for interrupting the matches and doing the yes chants during Reigns' match. That was cool. Another Bray Wyatt promo. This was the second of the night. More of the same stuff, but it was cool. Once again, he's just really working this angle hard, and the more promos he's doing, you have to think we're getting closer to seeing The Undertaker return. I'm predicting either Fastlane or next week on Raw. What do you guys think? Fastlane or Raw? Fastlane or Raw? Place your bets. Place your bets, good sir, madam. Fastlane or Raw? 20 to 1. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Next, we get a little bit of interesting stuff with the Divas division. Brie and Nikki steal Paige's outfit, and now she has no clothes to wrestle in. So we get to see Paige in a towel. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And it was awesome. And she gets one of the rosebuds to come in to her dressing room, and she takes her clothes, which is a princess outfit, which is absolutely hysterical. So Paige comes out for her match with Summer Rae, and she's in a princess outfit. Really no need for the match, I don't think, but they can't just keep doing just Bellas and friggin' Nikki. They have to continue to show Paige and showcase her, and this was a cool way of doing it without directly involving the Bellas on commentary. So Paige doing what Paige does. Summer Rae is just not very good in the ring, and unfortunately, I just don't think there's a lot of talent in the Divas division outside of. I do think Nikki Bella is good. And, of course, Paige. And Natty is doing Natty stuff now. So it's just like there's not a huge amount of talent. They really need these girls from NXT to come up and do something to rejuvenate this division. Now, if they get them up there and they're still not doing anything with them, then we know that WWE simply does not care to make the product better. And which is a very good possibility. It's very possible that the WWE just wants to keep the status quo going. And why do they care? Because here's the reality. They have no reason to care about our opinion. They care about the opinions of the people who are buying the merchandise and giving them the most money in their pocket, which, let's face it, is kids. And they like this stuff. They're enjoying it. They're enjoying the product right now. From those kids that are like 6, 7 to 15, 16, which I think is their big demographic right now, those kids are not having a problem with the product. Why? Because they're not nitpicking all of this stuff like we are. They're just enjoying wrestling. They're enjoying the entertainment. They're being sports entertained, you know. We're miserable bastards. That's part of our problem. We're so passionate about wrestling because we were those kids once, and we enjoyed and loved loved the product. And then we grew up and learned. When you become passionate about something, you learn about it. And we learned about the sport. We got in depth with it. And now we're these jaded dickheads who just have all this. We know better. We know what we want. We know what the company should be, what it could be, what it needs to be. The problem is that's simply not factual, at least not to them, because they're making their money off of that demographic, and just like they always have, and they're going to continue to do so, while we are dying off, getting more fickle, and going to other sports. It's just how it is, and it's how it's always been, by the way. It's not, I mean, we are the dying demographic. We are the demographic, a very small percentage. Yes, the IWC can seem expansive at time. It can seem like it's very big, but in reality, it's not that big. You know, we're just a bunch of people just clamoring for what we want. But the reality is it's the kids. It's the younger demographic that matters. And so this is what they're going to continue to get. So hopefully there's a balance. Hopefully we will see more good wrestling out of the different divisions like the Divas, and maybe some better tag team division work in the future, which we have gotten in spurts. So I don't think we're completely ignored. We're just not the priority. So, and I can accept that. So throughout the night, we continue to get these Sheamus promos. He's returning at some point. I don't know when. So, it's fine. By the way, the Paige won her match with Summer Rae. It wasn't a bad match. It was just a little blah. And she looked really hot in the little princess outfit. It was cute. Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. Rollins cuts a cool promo where, he's the future, and, he doesn't want to deal with guys like Ryback, Rowan, and Ziggler and all this stuff, which is fine. And then Ziggler comes out, and he calls him a douche. He makes fun of him. And he takes what some people are going to consider a shot at Seth Rollins. And I don't think it was meant to be. He said, obviously, we all know you had a bad Valentine's Day, which some people would think that was a direct shot at last week, what happened after Raw with the nude picture scandal. But in reality, Valentine's Day was just 2 days before Raw, and all that stuff did not happen on Valentine's Day. So there's my doorbell. That's wonderful. It didn't happen on Valentine's Day. Come on, doorbell. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. That doorbell is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, and then he followed up the crack. The rest of the crack was, with J&J Security. So I don't think it was intended to be a direct shot at him, nor was it meant to be malicious. But with Dolph Ziggler, you never quite know. The match was fine. It wasn't a tear down the house. It was their standard match. It's what we see out of them. Here's the interesting thing about it. I thought this was all to set up a 6-man at Fastlane. Now it doesn't seem like it's going to. It seems like it's going to be a Fastlane rematch between these guys, which that's fine too. Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, we'll see more of that. That's very, very possible. I had a thought during this match, though. Dolph Ziggler is just simply better as a heel, plain and simple. He does not like playing a good guy. He doesn't play a good guy very well. His wrestling ability and his charisma is what gets him over. Him as a heel is a much better proposition. And I think that he and Seth Rollins should form a team and call themselves the Faces of the Future. Or something, the Faces of Wrestling. Something to that extent. And they're just a couple of dicks. Just kind of like harken back to the early DX days of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Two guys who just knew that they were better than everybody else, and they egged each other on, and they just did a whole bunch of cool stuff to the rest of the locker room and just won titles and beat asses. I would like to see that. I think it's really cool. So that would be something that I'd be really, really interested in seeing. So I think that would be a lot of fun if that was a route that they wanted to go. But they probably won't. Remember, Ziggler's Twitter handle is still Heel Ziggler. I mean, come on. The guy wants to be heel, and I think this would be a cool way. And it would be a way to eventually make Rollins the face that they want, because these two are obviously in the wrong roles. Rollins would be a better face, and Ziggler would clearly be a better heel. And they could make that switch. Even if they didn't want to team them for very long, I think it would be cool to put them together and have them be this cocky team, and then split them up and have Rollins be the face eventually. That's just something I just wanted to throw in, something I was thinking about. So, it was a cool match between the two. It's what they do. They have a lot of fun in their matches. There's a lot of crazy stuff with J&J, who eventually broke up the match. So that's what they do. Triple H and Sting. Triple H comes to the ring, and he talks about how he is not scared of Sting and all of this stuff. Talked about he brought a lot of WCW stuff up. I thought that was very cool. And then, Rick comes out. And Rick and Triple H have a really nice exchange, talking about the mutual respect between the two of them. Rick did say quite often that he loves Triple H, which is fine. But the idea was, I don't think he ever was able to get to it. Triple H got to the point for him. And he's like, hey, I know what you're going to tell me. Don't underestimate Sting. And that's basically what Rick wanted to tell him. And obviously that's going to go into the Fastlane thing, where he's going to get beaten up by Sting again, probably dropped with another Scorpion Death Drop to further their feud to WrestleMania. So he ended up pushing Ric Flair on his ass at one point because, he didn't feel Rick was getting it. So that was kind of cool. Something that I think is going to happen after the Fastlane incident, whatever happens there, I believe leading up to WrestleMania, we're going to see a lot of old WCW faces, maybe like the Disco Inferno or some of the better champions that were there. And Triple H is going to destroy him in matches, because I think we're going to see a few matches out of Triple H before WrestleMania, some tune-up matches maybe. And what a cool way than to have Triple H versus WCW legends. Maybe even a cool way to get Booker T into the ring. That would be neat. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to see that. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. Next up, Darren Young and an unnamed partner versus the Ascension. The match never gets started. The Ascension attack Darren Young, who does not even look like Darren Young anymore. He looks not in the same shape that he was before he left, but I do love the beard. He looks more visceral, more grizzled. I really enjoyed that. That was a cool look by him. And the Ascension's beating the crap out of him. They get rid of the partner, and then out of nowhere, here comes Titus O'Neil to make the save. So it looks like they are going to be putting together the Primetime Players again, which I would love to see happen. Because they need a little bit more depth out of the tag team division, and Slater Gator just never worked. Hopefully this will also be a way to get Slater into something else, or possibly put him back in a comedic role, because Adam Rose seems to be leaving the comedic role and they don't have anybody to do it. Heath Slater is a natural fit for that because he is a good entertainer. He's a very good performer, and he's a doof. He's a dork. He's just a big doof. Big dope. So, it is what it is there. Will we see the Primetime Players reunite? What do you guys think? Or is this just going to be a little bit of bait and switch to see them eventually fight? I think they will get together and maybe even take a run at the tag team titles. That would be cool, something a little bit different. But right now it looks like they're going to be in a feud with the Ascension. So that'll be fun to see a little bit of Primetime Players, millions of dollars. So Miz in the back asks that Wade Barrett knock down Damian Sandow a few pegs, which is fine. Look, this match was okay. It was the Miz belittling Mizdow. Every time Mizdow got going in the ring, Miz started ringing a bell. Bell means stop. Bell means stop. And which got annoying and stupid, but it is what it is. Eventually it cost Mizdow a match. But after the match, Dean Ambrose comes out and zip ties Bad News Barrett to the ring post and forces him to sign his Intercontinental Championship match for Fastlane contract. I don't think it's legal, but hell, Triple H and Stephanie got married when Stephanie was unconscious. So it is what is there. So it was pretty funny. It did look like Bad News Barrett did not sign it. It looked like it was signed by Michael J. Fox, but that's okay. But it was a funny time. They could have done it better. I would have liked to have seen Dean Ambrose whip Bad News Barrett. That would have been neat. Until Bad News Barrett decided to sign the contract. But, this works. It'll get the match done. And hopefully set up a bigger match, maybe a ladder match or something for WrestleMania. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen there. Bray Wyatt with his third and final promo of the night where he is hammering the nail that he started at the beginning of the show with into a coffin. The foreshadowing is there. So maybe we'll even get a casket match between Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker for Taker's career. I think that's what's going to be put up there is Undertaker's career. I'm becoming more and more convinced of it, that Bray Wyatt is here to put Undertaker down, which is the only thing that he can take from The Undertaker. Undertaker doesn't have anything else, and they're really trying hard to make this matter. Is it working? What do you guys think? Is it working? Is Bray Wyatt becoming a serious contender to The Undertaker? And does anybody care, even if he is? We'll see. Naomi and Jimmy Uso versus Natalya and Tyson Kidd. They're furthering the storyline between the two married couples. And we did get a historic moment. First ever husband and wife versus husband and wife tag team match. And it was okay. I liked the work between Natalya and Naomi more than I did Jimmy and Tyson Kidd. Natalya and Naomi worked a pretty damn good match when they were in there, and that was pretty cool. They did a lot of good stuff. They got some time, and that goes to show stuff that I've said in the past. When you're given time, go for it. And they did. They went for it, and it looked really good. So that was cool. Natalya tries to tag in Tyson Kidd. He didn't want to tag. She hesitated and allowed herself to get rolled up after a series of rolls, actually, pinning combination rolls. She gets rolled up for the victory by Naomi, and Tyson Kidd comes in and critiques her because he's an asshole. And we like Tyson Kidd for being an asshole. So, main event time, Roman Reigns comes out, and he sits in on Daniel Bryan's match. I thought it was a very good idea for them to not put him on commentary. That was smart. I was wondering what the reason for it was other than not wanting Roman Reigns to talk. But as Big Show and Daniel Bryan started their match, which was not a good match, by the way. Just Big Show and Bryan, not a good match. Bryan did what he could, but the Big Show is just terrible in the ring. So who gives a crap? And the crowd didn't like it. The crowd didn't like the match. They were chanting boring and all kinds of stuff. It was just, it just didn't work. What made the match cool was Roman Reigns getting up and signing autographs during the match and taking selfies and throwing T-shirts out to the crowd. This shows a cool side of Roman Reigns, and that was a lot of fun, and it was distracting Daniel Bryan and kept this game of one-upsmanship going. The match between Bryan and Big Show spilled to the outside. Reigns got inadvertently or maybe intentionally speared by the Big Show. Reigns gets taken out of the picture. Bryan and Big Show go back in the ring for a little while, work a few more things, and then seemingly out of nowhere, Reigns gets into the ring and Superman punches Big Show and disqualifies Daniel Bryan in the process. So Big Show wins by DQ, and that sends Daniel Bryan into a tizzy, and they start pushing and shoving, and then they say, fuck it. They were going to shake hands, and then screw it. They go crazy and start beating the holy hell out of each other. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Hated the match. Loved the sell job for Fastlane. I loved that these two went at it, and they went at it convincingly. I thought they did some good work. I absolutely loved it. Just like I loved when Cena earlier in the night was like not allowing the referees to get in his way of his destruction of Rusev. I equally enjoyed this closing segment where these two guys were really going at it. The referees get involved and do separate them, and they're like, okay, let's shake hands, and then more fighting. They decide to even go after each other even harder, and they're diving through the crowd, and they're fighting everywhere. Bryan uses a chair, and they're brawling, and they throw each other over the friggin' announce table. It was awesome. And then the bookers come from the back and break them up completely. I thought it was really, really cool that they went to this great of lengths to make a very convincing main event for Fastlane. And I feel they accomplished it. I feel that they sold the match properly with all the hard work they put into it. It made me care about what was going on. So I'm very, very happy with how they took care of the final build to Fastlane. And I'm sure we're going to get some more out of SmackDown. But it'll be very interesting to see what exactly is going to happen with this match and how it works out. What do you think is going to happen at Fastlane? What do you think is going to happen on SmackDown? Are we going to get a triple threat at WrestleMania? Is John Cena going to take the title off of Rusev? Put your predictions. That's what I want to see. I want to see predictions. Your predictions for Fastlane right in the comment section below, and I will read them off on Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday for the viewer questions. I will read your predictions, and we'll see who gets closest. Everybody put your predictions down there, and we'll have a good old debate, and we'll have fun. We'll make a game out of it, and the winner will be announced on Monday. How's that? It'll be fun. So, look, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I enjoyed Raw. I'll give it a 7.5. I thought it was a very good show. A little bit on autopilot, but very, very cool and well done. And they're continuing to evolve storylines going forward. Was it a spectacular show? But they don't know. But they don't all need to be. This is what they need to do for this run. Hopefully, we're going to get a spectacular run to WrestleMania. So tell me what you guys think. Comment section below. Like, subscribe, and share as always. Thank you guys very much for joining me. I appreciate all the support as always. And we will see you next time right here on Dead on Air Productions.